With school approaching in about a week, it's a great opportunity to end our back to school month. So this is the last week of our back to school month. I'm gonna give a big thanks at the end of the broadcast. But what I really want, this is what we talked about. We talked about there's one instance in our broadcast we talked about excused versus unexcused, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to teach y'all about the difference between excused versus unexcused. So what is an excused absence? What's an example of an excused absence? Sorry about this. What's an example of an excused absence? An example of this could be something like, I went to a doctor's appointment or a family emergency. Those are excused absences. The reason that is basically because if you have like a family emergency, that's considered an excused absence. So when you're if you have like a family emergency you went to a doctor's office, that's an excused absence, and it should be taken care of. If you didn't take care of it, that's an unexcused absence. Unexcused absences are what leads you to truancy court, and truancy court is something you don't want to go to. In the past, we focused on truancy, parents being arrested, and truancy court for truancy during students back to school month. So that's what gets you into truancy court. By not going to school, not following up on your attendance, etc. But y'all might be asking me, well, what's unexcused? Unexcused is like reasons like I was sleeping in, I was babysitting, I had to work. Those are unexcused absences. Unexcused charges are things like I had to go babysit, I had to go do this, I had to go do that. But being late to class is just one of the toughest issues ever. But when you're dealing with people who are being late every day, it's just things like it's just something that makes you want to scream out common sense. For crying out loud, being late is never a good idea because, really, I understand that you want to talk to your friends and all, but school is very important, and if you're late to class every day, they have like a fence, and we'll show you some in just a minute. And we'll show you some example. We'll show you an example from the principal's office in just a minute. But what I want to show you is I've watched a clip several times talking about the issue of being tardy. So basically, I watched this clip like several times. And just believe me, I was never tardy. I may have been tardy, but I've always had some excuses. That's why you have these passes, this piece of paper that says, hey, sorry I was late because of this, sorry I was late because of that. You have hall passes. Hall passes are being used to let the administrators know where you're going. Because if you went into somebody like the principal and administrator, you really gotta want to know what's going on here. And so, like, what you have here is like somebody who just wants to be tardy and not take aim or take credit for it and say, well, I don't care, I'd rather just go to class whenever I want to. If you sit there and say, well, I'm going to go to class whenever I want to, that just basically means you're not getting your education, you're not doing whatever it takes. You just basically say to yourself, well, I don't care about my education. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there are days when you guys start caring about your education. I mean, I used to care about school. I love going to school every day. I love to learn. Because what I learned growing up is that part of growing up is doing things that we don't want to do in life. And this is just one of the examples. I'm telling y'all heart to heart. Y'all need to start learning. Y'all need to start going to school every day. If you're late, you're late. Like if you came in like 5 seconds late, you're still tardy. That's just basically what it is. Still ahead, senioritis, a myth that teachers make up to make seniors work harder. When we return, this clip I'm going to show you, and along with the clip from the post office that talks about the tardies, basically the 4 offenses. Stay with us. With the end of our back to school month approaching, one of the main issues that we focused in on, we have not focused in on, was being late or being tardy. So, with that in mind, here's one of the clips from Insert Productions. They have like a bunch of clips from stealing to no using the vending machines. In fact, we may play some of these during this portion of the broadcast. Take a look at this one.
Sorry, dude, I've got to open the door.
Wait again.
Sorry for the interruption.
Now, it's like I said earlier, a bit later in this broadcast, we're going to play some more clips from Insert Productions. They have a lot more clips about from stealing to being bullied and no PDA. But another one of the main issues I wanted to focus in on was basically one of the clips from the post office that talked about from the post office. Now, during this time, we may play some. If not, we're going to play one of them, but if not, we'll get focusing on the second half. So here's a clip from the principal's office talking about somebody who decided to be late 4 times. Listen to his excuses as you watch.
Policy on tardies is the first one is free, the second and the third one will require lunch detention, And then when you get into 4 on up, it's going to require a parent conference. Right now, I'm getting ready to meet with a young man named Jake who has trouble getting to class on time. Sit down, Jake. What grade are you in?
Right now, I'm a senior.
You're a senior?
Yes, sir.
And you know this how?
Because I've been here 4 years.
What's going on with the Tardys? You have 2 first period, 1 second period, and 1 third period.
Yes.
First period, what happened that caused you to be late?
I woke up late, and then I can't haul butt because my car will overheat, and then...
The car?
Yeah, because...
Then the second one was second period. What happened then?
Second period. Oh, I was right by the door, and the teacher told me to turn around. I'm like 5 feet away from the door. I could pretty much stick my hand in and turn the lights off. And the teacher was just not letting me in. She was like almost trying to stop me like a wall.
And the last one was also first period. What happened there?
Well, I like making gourmet breakfasts. I love food. So I usually make me like a real good breakfast before I come to school. Yeah, I like to make a gourmet breakfast consisting of 2 eggs usually, some Belgian waffles, and some nice crispy bacon. I love bacon.
Jake, even though you have a lot of excuses here for why you're late, they're not excuse tardies, okay?
Yeah, that's just...
And you're a senior. What do you expect to do when you get out of here?
Oh, I'm going to cartooning.
Cartooning.
Yes.
And if this job requires you to be at work at a certain time, which one of these are you going to use first? The car by the door, woke up late, or...
Probably the car, because a lot of people use the car.
I see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
This is your 4th tardy, so we've got to have a parent conference.
For each one?
No, not for each one. We're not going to invoke the disciplinary measures until I have a talk with your mom, and let's see if we can work this out. But we really need to get to class on time. All right, Jake, then I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, all right.
In the future, I'm going to try to get in class on time and be on my class and everything, but if I'm not, then I might have to come up with some more excuses to get by. Which often work, so that's good.
Okay. If there is something that common sense needs to tell us, common sense alert, you need to be on time. Period. Because when you're at work and you're late, you need to come up with a pink slip and an excuse. I mean, a lot of excuses may be, my car overheated. I mean, if you're late to work, you need to call in advance, like 2 to 3 hours in advance before your shift starts. So if your shift starts at 11, you've got 2 hours. So if you call in an hour before you're supposed to call in, before you're going to call in late, that's a write-up. Right? That's a write-up right there. And trust me, I know. Take a look. Take a look at this next one.
Let's go. It's time to get to class. Hurry up. Take off your cap. Let's go. My style of discipline is firm, tough, but at the same time unfair.
Mr. Del Toro's pretty fair and stuff, but whenever he cracks, it's time to crack down, he cracks down really hard.
If I have to call a parent and tell them that their son got hurt roughhousing, then their first question to me is, where's the supervision? And that's a very valid one. Right now, I'm meeting with 2 students who were caught wrestling in the commons area, and that's definitely a no-no.
Brother, sister?
When I saw the size discrepancy, I was concerned that somebody's bound to get hurt. I'm a little disappointed that a custodian has to tell you that we had our own little version of the WWF out there in the commons area.
If I was a wrestler, my name would be Right Vein.
If I was wrestling, my name would probably be XL, as in extra large.
What happened?
We were just messing around, pushing each other, and then he says, "Oh, I'm gonna get you."
My brother's Marine, he's taught me some stuff that most people don't know. So.
He got you in a headlock. And then the custodian told me that it kind of looked like you lost your breath or kind of became disoriented. What happened?
My glands seemed like to tense up.
Why would they tense up if you're joking around?
I don't know.
You must have been squeezing him pretty hard.
I just had him under like that. We were just joking around.
If we were really to wrestle, I think I'd just be crushed. I'd be slammed down like a pancake on a 4th of July.
Guys, we can't have this. When you're setting yourself up to somebody getting hurt, and more than likely it's going to be Chris.
I know I'm pretty small for my age. I know he's huge, but I know some of the weaker points of tall people is hitting him hard in the stomach or anywhere else. Getting him good right in the back of the leg, which is easier for me.
Let's just consider it a verbal warning. I don't want to see you in here again.
Okay.
That's it. After meeting with the two students, do I expect them to wrestle with each other? Yes, but not in the commons area.
In the future, we won't wrestle at this school. If we're bored and we're hanging out outside of school, maybe, but probably not.
Probably not, no.
Not in school. Why? Because it's a safety issue. You're sitting there like pretending to wrestle going, and then all of a sudden you're gonna hit, boom, boom, boom. You're gonna hit someone, other person is gonna cause a big domino in the hallways, and you're setting yourself up to be a bad example here. So don't be like these two and start not being late. I mean, horse around the hallways time is just a rough issue here. Coming up, a student decides to freaking, I don't know how to put this. I mean, he decided to be a comedian, and I'll let you watch the clip and decide. Stay with us. Let me ask you a quick question here. If you saw somebody in the hallway doing this, hold on a second here. And now, y'all may feel free to laugh at this. Saw something like this. There we go. If you saw something like this, what would you do? Would you laugh at it or just tell them to pull your shorts down? I mean, it's just like, you think this is funny to look at because you guys dream what, yeah, this is way fun to look at. Like, put on some pants. I'm wearing shorts. And that's just for comical purposes only. But I think I'm wearing shorts for this. But imagine seeing that in the hallway and it's causing a distraction on the 2nd floor. That's what one student did. And the same thing you're about to see is happening in this clip right here. See for yourself.
Kids, of course, are going to horse around in the hallway from time to time. But when it gets out of hand, then it becomes a problem. Mr. Neal, do you have Gunner?
Sure do.
Gunner evidently put on a big show in the hallway, and it became a huge disruption on the 2nd floor. I'm not going to put up with it. Have a seat. What is going on upstairs?
Nothing, I was just making people laugh.
How were you making people laugh exactly?
I pulled up my shorts, pulled down my shirt, so make it look like I wasn't wearing any pants. And everyone was dying.
You pulled down your shirt, pulled up your pants, and everybody was dying.
Yeah, they were laughing. It's hysterical. If I saw it in the street, I'd be laughing.
Do you mind showing me what this looks like?
Yeah.
I'm curious how funny this is going to actually look. Oh, yeah. That is great comedy.
How can you not laugh at that? That's hilarious.
All right, Gunner, sit down. Sit down. The time in between classes is to go from point A to point B. It's not the time for goofing around.
I just like my legs. The nice, skinny, nice white chicken legs. The best part of my legs is probably my calves. I mean, They're nice and firm.
Do you see your legs as somehow key to your future?
I think so. I think they're,
Leg model, perhaps?
yes, leg model for some shorts and for some shorts.
Well, looks like the joke's on you, Gunner. Saturday morning, 8 a.m.
Do what?
Saturday detention.
Alright, yep.
I think Gunner was just trying to entertain his friends a little bit, but with over 800 students in the school, it's just a distraction, it causes problems, it's out of line.
And there's also times to when you cross a line. There's common sense that tells us one thing: to go from point A, B, C, point from A to go to point A to B. That's from the hallway to class. It's every day. You don't just sit there and go, well, I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go goof around with my friends here. That's just not right here. All right, now while we're on the subject of insert productions, mind you, the channel has a lot of school-related issues. And one of the biggest ones ever that really got my attention was when Grayson decided to skip class. And that really got me. That really got me on my skin. That's really got me laughing when I first watched it. Okay. There. Here we go. Gotcha, sucker.
Hey, Walt, we got a runner on A. I'll meet you over there. Oh, feel the thunder, baby! You can't be ditching school! You're here to get an education! Now let's get up and go back to class! What are you doing? You're going back to school.
Don't be ditching. Don't be ditching. That's common sense. I mean, even don't be ditching school. I mean, don't be ditching class to like go do whatever you want. I mean, take a look at this one. Because he was using his phone. If you're thinking about doing what Grayson is doing these videos, don't even think about doing these. It's just not right. Coming up next, the senioritis, a myth that teachers make up just to scare seniors. Plus more from Insert Productions. Stay tuned. If you just joined us, it's the end of the week for our back to school month. We are focusing on issues that have not. We're focusing on issues on the GMB YouTube channel that have been talked about and that have not been talked about. Part of our greatest hits. So, with that in mind, continuing on, senioritis. It's a myth. Teachers make it up, like to scare people, trying to get people to work harder. But I was fine with all my classes. Let's take a look at this clip.
Senioritis. This is a myth. Teachers make it up, just to scare us and, trying to get us to work harder by the end of the year, but that's not true. That doesn't exist. I mean, I'm perfectly fine with all my classes.
Yes. Once I finish this next assignment, I'm gonna have 113% in this class, and then I'll get my valedictorian, and I'm gonna ace this. It's gonna be great, dude.
Dude, chill. That's so weird.
It's my last assignment. Huh?
Yeah, Devin, you gotta try sometimes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Alright. That's just like we're huge.
Woo, high school.
We have homework in this class.
Devin. You gotta understand, man. It's a senior year. You gotta take a load off. You've been working too hard. We can go, a few parties and stuff. Get some ice cream with some hot ladies.
Whoa, did I hear ice cream? Alright, guys, tomorrow I want to see all those projects we've been working on for the last month.
We have a project?
Dude, Robert, that call you last night.
Am I right?
Oh my god, I lost my phone. I put these pictures in my bag. Dude, what are we doing today, huh?
Oh, it's my seat, fool.
We even have assigned seats in this class.
Can you believe this? I just made this look cool. Make it the room over. Come on. Alright guys, I know you're all seniors and it's the end of the year, but we need to turn in those projects that we've been working on.
Hey, okay, nothing.
So who's going to turn in a project first?
Mr. I, can you hold that for 1 second? Hold the thought. Hello? Not the party tonight? I see like,
Hi, we have a great presentation for the project we've been working on.
Oh man, they do behind it. Yeah, no, you down?
Oh, I'm down for that. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, you down for the party tonight? Are you guys serious? Okay, this will work. All right, those two. C, C plus, B minus B, B plus, A minus A plus.
Sweet. What is this? One second, I'll have to call you back. You giving them an A, and I didn't even do anything. I didn't even do the project. That's worth something.
All you do is complain. You never do your work. You have a freaking 14% in the class. And you won't shut up.
Hi, you miss everything.
I am just such a good student that Mr. Yu, the principal, decided to award me for my incredible behavior. So, Mr. Yu, are we still on for Hooters?
Are we still on for Hooters? This is a high school. When are you guys ever going to get serious about anything? What is this senioritis stuff going on? Hold on a second here. I mean, I just can't believe this. What are you guys talking about? Hooters and stuff like that. Do you guys ever think about what you're supposed to be doing and what your life is going to be after high school? I don't get this. What's going on through your head? And what are you thinking about over here doing nothing? You know, guys, in 6 months, you guys are going to be out there in the real world. It's time to start getting a little serious here, okay? I'm serious. I'm serious about what I'm talking about. You guys got to start getting it together. This isn't going to work. And I don't want to hear anything about any Hooters or chicken wings or anything else you're going to. What do you guys think this is? Some game we're doing here? So let me get this right. You can't get to school on time. When you're here, you can't get to class on time. You never turn in any of your assignments. You know what? I kind of had it. So you know what? I'm going to give up. I'm done with y'all. I've had it.
So we're still on for Hooters, right?
Hooters it is.
Let's go, guys.
Yeah. All right, see you. We'll see you tomorrow at Hooters.
Try to work hard. That's common sense knowledge. I mean, let's tell you this. Seniors out there for the 2023-24 school year, let me tell you this. 2024 seniors, let me tell you guys something. Senior to senior. I mean, senior 2016 and senior 2024, listen to me good. Get it together. Take responsibility. Get everything together here in one shot. Don't be just sitting up there going on la di da di da da. I'm a senior. I'm gonna go out, go party, go drink, and all da 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 da. Like you think money goes on you like falling down that for No, get it together. Think what you're gonna do after high school. You have responsibilities. Take care of your assignments, and for youth, I mean athletics, like we talked about in our last episode. No pass, no play. If you don't pass your classes, you don't play. No excuses. Period. I get it. Hey, I get it. I understand. But there is times where we live in a world to where we don't want to do anything that we don't want to do. Part of growing up is doing what you don't want to do in life. And that's the whole thing. I mean, when we were kids, we didn't want to do homework. So here are just the 7 reasons why homework sucks. We're going to have that for you when we return. Stay with us.
Number 1.
Throughout the back to school month, we focus in on a lot of homework and why homework should be banned and why it sucks. We also talked about that in the original channel as well. That was last season. That was on the season 5. Basically, it's just you sit at the table and do your homework. But here are the 7 reasons why homework sucks.
Number 1.
Some teachers assign way too much homework. That's like 90% of the class. Like, what's the point of the test if I can get a freaking D on the test, a shit grade on the essay, but the homework's worth like 500 points out of 600? Those classes, I guess, are easy. It's like, do the homework and you'll pretty much pass the class, but really, it's more tiring than anything. Number 2. Teachers who assign a crap ton of homework, but they're only worth like 10 points at the end of the day. Like when you look at the total points in the class or whatever, all the homework adds up to like 5%. Honestly, don't do it. It's not worth it. Use that time to study, use that time to finish other shit in class, because a lot of times it's a ridiculous amount of homework and you're slaving yourself for pretty much nothing. And some of them are like a 4-page assignment, but it's only worth 5 points? Yeah. Screw it. Number 3, and I hate these kind of assignments because these homework assignments, it's all repetition. Like the teacher will give you a packet or a homework assignment, whatever. Let's just say, for example, it's math problems, 5 times 5, or you're learning a new formula, whatever it is. It's like 50 questions on the same thing. Like by the 5th problem, you're like, okay, doing that, I got it. Like after the first few examples, you're like, I got how to do it, but there's 100 fucking more. What is this, standards? Like my hand is cramping, Mrs. Puffs! And you literally spend like an hour doing the same fucking thing 100 times. Repetitive assignments like that are a waste of time. Like, dude, by the 5th problem, I got it. But there's 50 more? This sucks. Giraffe tits. The other types of homework I despise is the ones that are completely irrelevant from the test. Like you do all the homework assignments, I never do, but people do all the homework assignments, and then the day of the tests are like, none of these questions are on the test, professor. Like, I don't remember, yeah, because, they want to make it critical thinking tests or whatever it is. And even those ones are fucking bullshit. Because there's some that I run across and I'm like, okay, answer A makes sense, but so does answer B. And I shit you not, there's been a time where I've called the teacher over, I've explained to him exactly why I think it could be answer A and B, and the guy says, oh, I see how you got that. I can see why you think that. And I'm sitting there like, so which one would it be, A or B, which one do I put? And he goes, I'll put it to you this way, one's a little bit more correct than the other. One's a little more correct than the other. Nice job on your critical thinking test. So I might as well not even fucking do the homework if it's not going to be on the test. I might as well study or critically think at home, whatever the hell that means. Number 5, a lot of students complain about repetitions, like I'm not retaining any information. Some of the homework assignments are fucking completely made up, completely irrelevant shit from the material. Like, yes, I could look at it and copy it down. Copying shit down doesn't mean I'm learning anything. Because when it comes to the actual test or whatever, you actually have to solve a problem. So the homework has like nothing to do with it. But to prepare you for the test, it doesn't actually serve a purpose. So you Google shit on your own. Like, haven't you ever heard of example problems, example essays on books you have to read or whatever? You might as well Google all that stuff to be prepared for the test than the homework or whatever. Because it's not plagiarism, it's influence. And the ones I really hate is when the teacher assigns you homework that's like completely out of fucking line. Sometimes it'll be an extra credit thing, but the assignment is like, take a fucking family trip to the Grand Canyon, grab a fucking boulder, stand on the very edge, roll it off the cliff, measure its fucking velocity and momentum when the sun's at a 45-degree angle on a Tuesday morning when the cattle come home. Way too grand for just 5 measly extra credit points. You do this whole piss bowl soup of a thing, and it's only worth like 5 points. Like half the class doesn't even do it anyway. They just fucking bullshit about their experience or how to solve the problem or what they learned for those 5 points. No one actually goes out and does it. Because now it's not fucking homework. It's take a whole day's trip worth work. Waste an entire day outside work. And that's the last point. Some teachers are just a little too lazy, so sometimes they'll go, oh, you don't have any homework today, class, or you could do your homework in class. Well, it's not called homework anymore, it's called classwork. Let's get that straight. But honestly, evaluate your points, because I know so many dumb people in class who cry about it and go, I've done like all the homework assignments, and I still have a D+ in the class. Well, you should have realized what they were worth. Professor, is this part of the homework going to be on the test? No shit, is this your first time in class? Like, when are you ever going to ask the teacher and he's going to be like, Oh, the homework questions? No. No, they're not going to be on the test whatsoever. The test is completely irrelevant to the homework assignments I'm giving. Like, when's it really going to be that? And which is funny because sometimes it is. Sometimes, like, nothing on the test is part of the homework. You know, they'll give you another, oh, well, I tried to make it more critical thinking or whatever the fuck bullshit reason they have. Honestly, homework in general, at least in America, sucks. Sometimes you'll get those awesome teachers, those awesome assignments, homework assignments where you're literally like, shit, like I did learn, it's straight to the point, I aced the test, I retained the information, it's good, the way it's written, perfect. God bless those moments. Otherwise, it's fucking cat poop salad.
And it is. Now here's the second video. Actually, we have the second video for you on the second half. But here's Rob on why teachers suck, from his experience.
It's just me, or is the school?
But before I play this, I want to point out to you, I am not throwing any teacher under the bus here. This is his opinion. I've had great teachers where I went to school, so I'm not bashing y'all, so and so, this and this. But if I did throw you on the bus, I'm very sorry. This show is based on opinions and facts and opinions. And if you not like what I say, then don't go typing in hi mighty people going all blah 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 so this and this. Just say what you guys say.
It's just me, or is the school system turning into a structured path towards failure? I think teachers have more of a serious role than you think, because it's one teacher teaching like a classroom of 30 kids, right? Some are slow learners, some are fast learners, some don't learn visually, some don't have to take notes, some do. Listen, the reason why I don't like school is because I can't stand it. I can't stand how slow it moves. I can't stand how many stupid people there are in class. I can't stand the questions asked. I can't stand how the information is presented to me. I feel like if I learn the material on my own, I could do an entire year of a class subject, maybe in a couple days in my room. Don't you hate it when teachers give way too much time to that retard in class? They'll ask a question like, Professor, why are the clouds white? And she takes it seriously. Well, Michael, it's because, and you're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, we're in fucking history class! Do you see how much time is being wasted on irrelevant questions? And sometimes the teacher will pick it up because you'll be like, okay class, let's jump back on topic. But then some other dumbass like Ashley Ferntits in the back of the class will ask some moronic question like, wait, if our world is like a ball, then why aren't we rolling off? Why are my tits perfectly proportionate? So it's these stupid questions, and it takes way too long for you to actually learn something. You'll get to the end of the class, the time will tick, like class is almost done, and the teacher will wrap it up like, okay, so yeah, Western civilization, come back in next week, we have a test. And there's a reason why there are overachievers in school now that don't have to do anything, right? Like SpongeBob and the Good Noodle Board. I have like 10 golden stars on my Good Noodle Board. But it's easy because all I have to do is sit there and not ask stupid questions because school is easy now. I feel like what makes at least college challenging, and I'm talking about like when you're about to finish your major courses, is the amount of information they give. How teachers make up their own fucking critical thinking tests. They want you to do 200 pages by tomorrow. They want you to study 8 chapters of notes by tomorrow. Like, I feel like that's what makes it challenging. But middle school is a joke. High school is a joke. If you failed high school, don't even watch this video. You're probably too stupid to understand anything on my channel. College is a joke. At least 90% of it. Don't you love the teachers that are completely attitude-filled? Like, you're the student they don't like in class, but you'll ask something, or maybe it's even a smart question, you'll kind of stump them a little bit. Wait, if we're learning about that, why can't I just kind of do this packet, turn that in tomorrow, that way I'll have extra time to do my missing assignment, and they're always, because I said so. They sometimes grade tests completely unfairly, like everyone got the same exact test, but for some of the word responses, like you said the exact same thing as your friend, they got it right, but you got it wrong. Like, how does that work? The teachers just have like a bad day, like, fucking husband. My fucking husband. He's fucking that girl named Jessica. I know he's fucking that girl. Okay, where was I? Charles? Who's Charles? Oh, he's that fat, smelly kid in class? Fuck him. F. Jessica. She tries a lot. I'll just give her a name. Matthew. Oh, that fucking prick. Reminds me of my ex-husband. Fuck him. D-. There have been days where I've gotten like the wrong grade online when I checked it. Like it was a group project, so you're graded as a group. Everyone got an A, but mine was like an F. How did that happen? Was the teacher drunk off her ass when she was grading it? Was she just... I don't have time for this. I have 40 papers to do. Because you know every teacher complains in class, I have 180 papers to grade. Okay, guys, so I didn't have time to watch the game. There's 70 essays I have to read by tomorrow, okay, guys? So I don't have time to get... It's like, I get it. It's your job to grade papers, but I hate it when they complain about it every day. And then some things that don't make sense is when you present an idea that's beneficial to everybody, but the teacher still doesn't want it to happen. Like, you'll say something like, wait, why don't we just do the response questions as part of the packet, and we could turn it all in one day and be done? And you hear everyone in class like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And the teacher, yeah, that sounds good, but no, I want you guys to do it like this. Then everyone's like, I want you guys to do it like this. It's so you can learn better. They'll pull something out of their fucking ass. Like in the end, it doesn't make any sense because it's like, well, it's less work for you to grade, professor. And they're like, no, I've been doing this for a while and that's how it's done. Well, maybe you should change things up, bitch. The other thing teachers do I hate is when they give you group projects, but they have your peers grade each other. How does that make any sense? You know everyone's going to give everyone else A's. It's either that, or you're like me and you have bad luck and you end up in a situation where you do all the fucking work yourself because everyone in your group is a dumbass, then somehow they give you like a C or a D for your final grade. Fuck group work. The other things teachers need to really kind of look over and change is they have notes in class where some of it is so common sense, it's like, are you really spending 20 minutes writing this shit out? Do we really have to write this in our notes? And sometimes I'd sit there going, why is everyone's pen moving? Like, why am I seeing this right now when the teacher on the board, like let's just say you're in health class or something, you're learning about the human body and whatnot, but then there's a section of notes that literally takes 15 minutes to completely write out on the board for the teacher, and then everyone in class is copying it, and it says something like, the leg muscles are responsible for running like athletes, how they run. So you see, there's like illustrations. His leg is moving, the muscles in his legs are being used. He's using the muscles on his legs to run. The nose is for scent. They smell things, it goes in the nose. The mouth is where the food goes. The teeth here is to chew the food. You swallow, it goes down to the stomach. Now, in the stomach, here's what happens in the stomach. You digest the food in the stomach, which then... Does everybody see the problem here? And there's kids in class, like I'm sitting down like this, thinking in my head, why the fuck am I gonna write down shit like your lungs are so you can breathe? You chew food with your teeth. Why the fuck do I have to write this shit down? It's fucking common sense. I'm obviously just gonna kind of sit here and wait for information to fucking finally surprise me. Like, oh, okay, I should write this down. But everyone in class, I'm looking around and there's students like this. Wait, what did he say? He changed the slide. Wait, what did he say? The lungs? Oxygen, the lungs, and the oxygen. Are you fucking stupid? You're right. These are the notes you're taking. This is why the school system is fucked. People fill 10 pages of notes, 9.5 of which are common sense, 9.5 of which you shouldn't have even written, and they write it long. They don't even do bullet points. They write like very long sentences. This is how I know we're fucked. Our school system is a joke. This is why the Japs are overtaking us. And believe me, I don't mean this kid. The kids in the classroom are so stupid. Sometimes I even expect things like, oh, Henry, don't eat the glue stick. But I read on Instagram it's good for you. I expect dumbasses to do that. Lastly are the teachers who do the bare minimum. And when I say bare minimum, I literally mean they'll open up the books, they'll tell you, go to page 238, you're gonna do this section, you're gonna take notes here, then you're gonna fill out the word problems at the end of the chapter. Okay, begin class. And they go on their desk, like completely depressed, right? Their own kids in jail or their fucking husbands cheated on them or something, and they're just like, Mrs. Lambry, I have a question. For number 10, it says that, it's about this. Is that referring to the actual day it happened, or is that referring to, just do your best. Do your best. You can tell it's in their face, right? Like the bell rings and they're, another fucking period. And another period of teaching these kids. If you don't want to teach, if you don't care, just quit. End of fucking story.
That's common sense. Common sense. For crying out loud, you don't want to teach, then quit. But on the subject note taking, we'll be right back. While we're on the subject here of this clip, Rob makes a very good point. Let's go back to when he talked about people copying notes down.
There's a section of notes that literally takes 15 minutes to completely write out on the board for the teacher, and then everyone in class is copying it, and it says something like, the leg muscles are responsible for running like athletes, how they run. So you see, there's like illustrations. His leg is moving, the muscles in his legs are being used. He's using the muscles on his legs to run. The nose is for scent. They smell things, it goes in the nose. The mouth is where the food goes. The teeth here is to chew the food. You swallow, it goes down to the stomach. Now, in the stomach, here's what happens in the stomach. You digest the food in the stomach, which then, does everybody see the problem here? And there's kids in class, like I'm sitting there like this, thinking in my head, why the fuck am I gonna write down shit like your lungs are so you can breathe, you chew food with your teeth? Why the fuck do I have to write this shit down? It's fucking common sense. I'm obviously just gonna kind of sit here and wait for information to fucking finally surprise me. Like, oh, okay, I should write this down. But everyone in class, I'm looking around and there's students like this.
Like that. This is what it's like. You get the picture here? Do you get the picture here? Here's the key here. If you're taking notes in class, put down bullet points. Do not write out sentences. Teacher look at your notes going, why is it all bullet points? Because I don't want to write long fucking sentences. For crying out loud. Again. Like this. Why are you writing out bullet points? Why are you doing bullet points not writing long sentences? Because I don't want to do it. I don't want to write down whole sentences and have my hand cramp. For crying out loud. Long sentences is going to equal more hand cramping. For crying out loud. If you're taking notes, put down bullet points. It may work, it may not work. Because they may point answers to your test, to where you have to use your notes or use your review, whatever. Just basically don't write down long fucking sentences. Just basic common sense will tell you to put down bullet points. Your teachers don't like you doing bullet points, drop the class. Your teachers out there, you don't like what your kids are doing, just listen to me. For crying out loud, quit your job. I'm sorry for giving you this, but that's what the clip says. So I have to go for what's going on here. It's basic common sense analogy that says that you don't want them to just freaking. I mean, the only time you should have them write long sentences is for vocabulary. Like when I was in school, we had to copy down the textbook with vocabulary words on paper so that we can use those for the test. So it's like, okay, this means this means that, this. You're going all. So it's just so this is the difference between using a textbook and looking at the board taking notes. So it's like, if you agree with me, and agree with me. If you're not going to agree with me, okay. But just know that I'm spreading common sense. Because that's what I stand for. Because that's what I stand for. Alright. Come up in the second half of the show. More reasons why homework sucks from Rob. And a repeat of what I talked about in this first half. Meaning the note taking and why you should just use bullet points instead of just using write out long sentences. Why I say you should only use vocabulary words only write down long sentences for vocabulary words instead of using a textbook. So this is basically all that. If you have a problem with it, address your teacher and just make a suggestion and say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should use bullet points instead of just writing down long sentences so that our hands don't cramp. And then other people may say, yeah, that's a great idea, but the teacher looks at you going, yeah, but. Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, that may be a good idea. Yeah, but there's no but. But means forget everything you just said. I'm gonna now tell you what I really mean. Basically, it's like this. Yeah, I understand that, but yeah, and that's a great idea. But I want you to do it this way so that way y'all can learn. You don't like it? Okay, but don't be complaining, crying on social media saying like, oh, blah blah blah, so and so. I mean. Watch this episode and you'll know. That's Game Break for now. Join all of us at YouTube next time for another edition of Game Break. And join me on the second half later tonight. I'll see you soon.